Corporate jargon. Value-added execution. Conversation doesn't live and die at the pub. It ought to, but it doesn't. And so in the workplace, we might run into a unique parlance known widely as corporate jargon. And what is that? Well, it's a way of softening and overly specifying actions, nouns, values, and beliefs from an ever-evolving lexicon of very impersonal words and phrases. Let's get into examples. If you want people to work together more effectively, you would build an employee strategy to improve team synergy. If you want employees to focus on something specific, you might say, please review highlighted key performance indicators to refocus task priorities for week-end targets. And if somebody was in trouble for breaking the rules at work, they would have to face actionable disciplinary measures in keeping with corporate values and operations related to personnel. This is all real, by the way. I've spoken like this. I've sent emails to people like this. Shame on me. Shame! Because it really is one of the more eye-rolling methods of communication. Words like incentivize and stopgap go from being mostly uncommon to being used on a daily basis. Emails become decipherable only through context alone, and speaking from experience, the higher one sits on the corporate food chain and the bigger the company is, the more common it is. So why? Does it serve a purpose? Or is it just adapting to what feels most appropriate in the environment? Such as when people are at the beach and they don't talk in corporate jargon. We'd naturally expect people to speak with a more relaxed tone and a lower register, reflecting the easygoing nature of why somebody goes to the beach in the first place. And so, that same idea might be somewhat true of corporate jargon, but there is also a method to the madness. Canceling out the outliers who take things to the extreme, corporate jargon generally does serve a purpose. Stay with me. We all have our own way of talking, our own tics, our own quirks, our own mirepoix, and it comes from the life we lead, the life we've led, and so forth. So, in a workplace setting, what might be one way to sync up communication so that everybody hears the same thing and can repeat it back verbatim? Well, how's about implementing a non-native vernacular that acts as a temporary second coat of paint over the mural that is our own individualized way of talking? Yee, that doesn't sound very good, does it? When I say it like that, painting over our individual mural? It's low-key oppressive, soul-draining, inhuman even, and it is all of those things. But then again, that's what work is to most people. Let's face it. And beyond that, it is effective in getting people from all different backgrounds and all different walks of life on the same page, repeating the same workplace dogma in such a way that it can't blow up in anybody's face and land folks in a meeting with human resources. Because corporate jargon might offend us with its predication, but the content is blessedly empty and hollow. Seriously, try to be objective here. If you're an equal opportunity employer, and you have dozens of employees prepared to chatter and be themselves when they're supposed to be a paid extension of your business, your brand, your investment, well, that might come to an end after one slang term or colloquialism that was taken out of context and exploded on Reddit or something. No. Even the well-intended, people-first employer would slowly, gradually, unconsciously adopt corporate jargon, if only for the sole purpose to avoid those little misunderstandings, especially these days. Think of it like wearing a suit on your voice box. Oh, never mind me. This is just my own little attempt in defending corporate jargon, and I'm starting to doubt that it's working. See, I kind of think it's fun. It's like Pig Latin, only it makes you sound a little bit like a big shot. Truthfully, I believe the reality of it is probably a giant blob of company mantras drummed up by management, like mission critical or solutioneering, combined with the fear of HR incidents and, of course, that adopted environmental behavior. And then, as in all life, once enough people get to behaving a certain way, most will follow in kind. Those who remain defiant, well, I suppose they didn't really want that promotion anyway.